What do appraisers look for in a real estate appraisal? Do things like cleanliness and clutter actually impact value? How about tax records? How does that come into play? And does the appraiser actually get to see the home inspection? If you are a buyer or potential seller in today's market, you need to watch this video. Hey there, welcome back to my channel. I'm Erica Monroe. I'm a realtor in the Bay Area and I specialize in Solano County. So what do you need to know about an appraisal? Well, there are so many factors that go into actually assigning value to a home. Some we don't have control over and some we absolutely do. So both buyers and sellers need to pay attention to these components. Make sure you stick around until the end. I've got a couple pro tips that are going to make all the difference in helping you assign value to a house. First off, does an appraiser get a copy of the home inspection? Do they get to comb through the report and point out any items that they feel is necessary to fix? Well, the answer is no, and neither does the lender for that matter. However, the appraiser does conduct their own inspection. They're looking for health and safety issues. So they want to make sure that things like smoke detectors are in every bedroom and every main living space, that there's a carbon monoxide detector on every level of the home, that the hot water heater is double strapped in the event of an earthquake, you're well protected. And some counties also require a gas shutoff valve. All of those are items that an appraiser will pay attention to. So sellers, those are easy items for you to cure or repair prior to going on market. That's going to lessen the chance that something's going to get called out as a condition, which may delay closing and may actually provide a loophole for buyers to cancel. And buyers, especially if you're FHA or VA buyers, you need to be paying attention to these items when you're touring a house. Is there excessive peeling paint or dry rot? Dry rot is wood that's exposed to the elements 24/7, and you can start to see it break down. There's cracks, sometimes pieces are broken off, it looks really weathered. Well, if you can see it, so will an appraiser, and there's a good chance that the appraiser will call that out as a condition. What happens if there is a condition? A condition means the appraiser sees something, they identify a problem that needs to be repaired prior to the lender actually funding the loan. There's likely going to be a delay in closing. There may be some negotiation that happens between buyer and seller to figure out who's going to pay for the work to be done, and it could potentially jeopardize your contract. The buyer may say, you know what, we're not comfortable with those conditions, we want to back out. And the seller may say, you know what, I don't want to pay for this work to be done. I think another appraiser won't call it out, so I'm not going to do any work. You may end up having to cancel the contract. So how do tax records come into play? Well, an appraiser will reference tax records to see how it compares to the actual home. Let's say the home has 5 bedrooms, but the tax records reflect 4. Well, chances are the addition was made without permits. Typically, if permits are pulled, that gets updated in the tax records. So an appraiser may or may not offer credit for that addition. Sometimes an appraiser will look at whether the home is done in a professional manner with like-kind material. So if it looks like it matches the rest of the house, sometimes you will get full credit. If it's an addition that's evident that it wasn't part of the home, there's a large step down, the materials used don't match the rest of the house, there's a chance that you may get little to no credit for that addition. So that's important to keep in mind when sellers are pricing their home and looking at comps to see how their home compares. And also for buyers, when you're considering a purchase price, you need to understand that though that addition may be really nice and functional for you, you may not get credit for that item on the appraisal. On occasion, tax records are actually incorrect. For example, last week I helped a buyer close on a home. The lot size was recorded as 6,900 square feet, but when you were there, it was obvious that it was much larger. So I pulled up the plot map, looked at the dimensions, and found that it was really closer to 12,000 square feet. Well, there's potentially a lot of value there, especially since the lot was almost 2 times the size of the comparable homes that sold recently. Sellers, if you feel like your home is significantly larger than what's recorded on tax records, it may be worthwhile to have an appraiser come through and actually measure each bedroom. You could also have a surveyor come out and measure your lot size if you feel that it's significantly different, because there is potential value there. The condition of home and how it presents is incredibly important, and in my opinion, absolutely impacts value. Your appraiser is a real human. They have feelings, they have opinions. And when a home presents beautifully, when it's freshly painted, when it's staged, it all feels cohesive, it's gonna provide a higher perception of value versus a home that's full of clutter, it's dirty, there's odors, there's stains on the carpet. Automatically, as much as appraisers are trained against adding their opinion, they're a real person. It is gonna trickle its way into the report. Going the extra mile before coming on market, having fresh interior or exterior paint, perhaps staging, or at the very least decluttering your house is absolutely gonna give a higher perception of value to both buyers and the appraiser. Some quick pro tips that'll help you determine how to assign value to a house. Number one, lot size. Unfortunately, doesn't carry as much value as one would assume. I've seen as little as 75 cents per square foot up to about $5 per square foot. The key is, if the lot is about 2 times the size of the comparable homes lots, you're likely gonna get towards the higher end of credit. If it's insignificantly smaller, you probably won't get any credit at all. Number two, making information readily and easily accessible to the appraiser without being overbearing. So having a list of upgrades, for example, the cost and the date that they were installed is great for the appraiser to understand a truer sense of value. Now keep in mind, you won't get line item credit. You won't see a reflection of $7,000 on the appraisal report because that's what it costs you to upgrade your kitchen counters, but it will impact overall the condition and presentation of home. Lastly, it's really important that either the listing agent or the buyer's agent compiles recently sold comps from various applications and presents them to the appraiser. We want their job to be easy. We want them to understand our opinion of value and how we derived it. If you're looking for additional information on what to consider when selling, check out my video, Tips for Selling a Home. And if you are a buyer and you have no idea what to consider when looking for a home, check out What to Consider When Purchasing a House. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, ding that little bell so you're notified when I post my next video.